Sources are telling CNN that there have been multiple injuries and fatalities. A shooting in Annapolis, Maryland, that's the capital of Maryland, about an hour outside of Washington, D.C. The shooting was at the newspaper there, the Capital Gazette. Police, law enforcement are saying that one individual is in custody, but they are still saying it is an active shooter situation. They are making sure that there is no other shooter before they give the all clear. I want to bring back CNN's Josh Campbell, the former FBI supervisory special agent. And Josh, we got some very vivid descriptions there from the Capital Gazette crime reporter Phil Davis talking about what it was like being in the newsroom, hiding under his desk after his colleagues had been shot, hearing the shooter reload.
That's right, Jake. I mean, we hear from witnesses in these types of incidents. We've heard from them before. It never is easy to hear the panic, the chaos that ensues. And one thing that's important to remember is although, workplaces will prepare for these types of incidents, we've seen the uptick in the number of active shooter training programs that are being put on. Nothing prepares you for that actual moment where, something happens and now you have that fight or flight reaction. We always talk about the run, fight or hide methodology that's now being used and having to go through that. We're going to hear a lot of those stories. And again, there's still a lot that we don't know as far as what took place in the newsroom. The fact that this is a news business means that you have people that are, collecting information and pushing that out so that we'll hear about it and we'll continue to hear those details. One thing that's also interesting as we look at, the response that's taking place right now, both from witnesses and obviously the police, is, there's a lot that goes into this type of training that we don't see. And these law enforcement agencies will work together. They'll train together. We heard you mentioned earlier that one of the medical facilities had indicated that they were receiving at least one patient. When these types of incidents go out, medical facilities are now part of this response plan. They'll get that initial word that, we have a crisis situation, be prepared to take casualties, to take patients. And, it appears as though we have one person that was then transported. We'll probably see more of that as the injuries we hear more about them and they're resolved. And then one thing obviously is when the police actually get to the point where they're ready to brief the press and brief the public, we'll learn those additional details. But right now, I think their focus is on clearing that building, and then we'll get additional details about what took place inside.